Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new Cool Kids live stream. We are going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Now, originally, our good friend Jay, aka the world's biggest geek, he was going to host it, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to see it in time. But hopefully he will get a chance to see it at some point. So
you're in charge.
Yes. So since Jay can't host it,
I want you to remember something. While your parents are away, I am in charge here.
Sure. All right. So now you know. So you know how this all goes. If you've seen all of our live streams, you know how the order goes. You know who we are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So let me state that as a child from the 90s, I definitely grew up with TMNT. I mean, as you can see right here, I mean, I remember watching the cartoon from the 80s. I remember the comics, the toys, even the first two live action films, which I think still holds up. I think they hold up. We don't talk about the third one though. So, but as a Turtles fan, I was both skeptical and excited for Mutant Mayhem. On one hand, I was excited to see the Turtles back on the big screen in animated form. However, on the other hand, after both of those Michael Bay abominations, I was also very worried that we would not be getting a TMNT film that just truly matches the first movie from 1990, which in my opinion is one of the best comic book movies of all time. After seeing it, I will say I did enjoy it okay, although I do have some issues with it. And I will be reviewing this movie from two different perspectives. One from the perspective of the average moviegoer, and the other one from the perspective of a Turtle fan. Let me state that I think the animation is awesome. I love the colors. I love that same comic book like art style, like the ones that were used, similar to the Spider-Verse movies. It was directed by Jeff Rowe, the same guy who co-directed my favorite animated movie of 2021, Mitchell's vs. Machines. And this guy does know how to give some fun-looking animation. The action scenes were a blast to watch, kept me on the edge of my seat. I like the brotherly dynamic between all four of the Turtles and how they want to be accepted. I do enjoy Superfly. He is similar to Magneto, where he is rejected by humanity. He is very similar to it, but you understand his motive a little bit. And I'm so glad that Shredder is not in this movie. Like, as much as I like Shredder and he is very important to Turtles lore, you don't need him, Shredder, in every single Turtles movie, similar to how you don't need the Joker in every Batman movie. But Superfly, he is like the opposite of Splinter, where Splinter was rejected by a society who feared him as well. But he learned from his sons that not all the humans were terrible. Voice acting was very well done, though certain characters were not handled with the greatest care, but I'll get to that in a little bit. When it comes to my negatives, I thought there were some jokes. There were maybe some jokes here and there that made me laugh, but there were some other ones that were just so stupid and just dragged on for too long. There's like a constant joke about milking the turtles, or how the turtles don't have nipples. That's honestly just very stupid. The joke was already dumb enough.
Really stupid.
Really stupid, yeah. I'm reading, so I can't pull up the video yet. But they just made it. But the joke was already stupid, and they made it worse by constantly referencing it over and over. Like I said, there were some jokes that made me laugh. I do like the Attack on Titan reference that Donnie made. So, and by the way, for the record, Attack on Titan is awesome. But other ones, yeah. But some of the jokes were just kind of hit and miss. Some of the song choices I felt kind of weird, like the fact that the song they had while when April O'Neil puked for the first time on camera, or the "What's Up" song that played during the car chase scene. I just thought those just felt kind of weird and out of place for what they were doing. Also, as a Turtles fan, I can't help but be disappointed on how certain characters were sidelined or others that just don't have much of a purpose. What was the point of Cynthia Utron, aka the female version of Krang? What is the point of Bebop and Rocksteady? What is the point of Leatherhead, Mondo Gecko, Wingnut, or just any of these? I mean, I get that they're all pretty much children of Superfly and all. And you can't develop every single character. I get that, but I think you could have maybe I think you could have developed some at least. So and another thing that bothers me is missed opportunity. How do you get Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter Stockman and only have him on screen for a few minutes before killing him off? And also, why isn't Baxter Stockman Superfly? It just feels like a wasted opportunity to not introduce this character as the Fly. But instead, he was one of his creations, and plus he had more reason to. Plus, he seemed like he had more reason, more of a reason to want to destroy humanity, because he was rejected, like he was turned away, and was berated for his actions. I just don't get that. Also, the way that I also found that how Splinter was able to teach the four turtles martial arts, just have them watching YouTube videos, was very stupid. Really stupid. It was stupid in the 2014 where Splinter taught them the turtles by reading a book about ninjutsu in the sewer, all written in Japanese, and it was stupid here too. I mean, come on. Is a martial artist from Japan hiding in the sewers, turning into a rat after being exposed to the same ooze that transformed turtles not good enough of an explanation? Really? And also, how does Splinter have a Japanese accent if he's not from Japan? Now, overall, I've gone on about this movie, and I want to... but overall, while this film has problems, it seems like there is a little bit more good than bad in this movie. I know, based on my review, it seems like what I'm going to give it probably would be a little higher than what people would be expecting. It's as a standalone movie, it would work a lot better, but as a Turtles film, I expected a little bit more. I will say that I will certainly take this over both TMNT 3 and both of the Michael Bay movies. If you have kids to take, they'll more than likely love it. But I will certainly take the 1991 over this. And my final score is a 6.5 out of 10. All right.
All right. So I think I should state the obvious. Even when I was a kid, I've never been a Ninja Turtles fanatic. I have nothing against the franchise, but it was just never my thing when I was a kid. So I don't have nostalgia for it like everyone else does. I remember watching the 2003 show, and I remember watching a little bit of the first live action movie and Ninja Turtles 3. But that's basically it. I'm not an expert on the comics or the lore or any of that. I was never a hero and a half shell. I was always a Batman kid. However, I will admit I do think the 1990 movie is a great film. So when Mutant Mayhem was first announced, I really could care less, despite the beautiful animation in the trailers. However, my interest peaked when I found out one of my all-time favorite bands, Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, were doing the score. And the director was one of the writers on Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which was, like Rob said, the best animated movie of 2021 and one of my favorite films. So my interest peaked, and what did I think as a non-Ninja Turtles fan? I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't think it's the masterpiece that everyone says it is, but I had an absolute blast watching this movie. First off, the animation looks great. I really dig the look of New York and the weirder designs of the characters. Like, yeah, the humans look weird, but I think it works for this movie and for its style. I love the action scenes. They all look fantastic. And the voice actors, they all do a solid job, especially the ones playing the Turtles, Jackie Chan as Splinter, and Ice Cube as Superfly. I'm not an expert on the lore, so most of the changes didn't bother me at all. I mean, there were some. I liked how the Turtles acted like typical kids and like young teens. I loved the brotherly dynamic. I love their chemistry with each other. I loved their chemistry with April O'Neil. I really liked Splinter acting more like a father than a sensei. I thought that worked very well. And I found Superfly to be a very good villain. And it was refreshing not seeing Shredder for the millionth time, kind of like how you constantly see Lex Luthor in Superman movies. The movie, for the most part, the movie was very funny. I found myself laughing at a lot of the jokes. I know the milking joke was stupid, but I'm sorry. I actually thought that was pretty funny. And the soundtrack was really good, but then again, I'm biased because, I love me some Nine Inch Nails. And I liked the 90s, some of the 90s like pop and 90s rap songs they incorporated. I especially loved when you heard the Vanilla Ice Ninja rap in one scene. Was there anything in this movie I didn't like? Yeah, there were some things. Some of the humor didn't work for me, especially that joke about April O'Neil puking on camera. I didn't think that was very funny. Even though I said I wasn't expert on the lore, I didn't like how they made Bebop and Rocksteady and the other mutants good guys just like that through a 5-minute heart-to-heart speech. As Mark always says, they went CW. I thought that was pretty lame. And I didn't like how this, even though this is a hell of a lot better than the Platinum Dunes movies, even though I have not seen them, I know the reputation. I don't like how they took some inspiration from them, like how Splinter learned ninjutsu instead of being a ninjutsu master. Just like with the Michael Bay, it was stupid in the Bay movies when he was cleaning up their lair and he conveniently finds a Japanese book of ninjutsu lying on the ground and he teaches to the turtles instead of being a master. In this movie, he decides to teach them ninjutsu by watching an infomercial. Like, really? That was pretty lame. But overall, despite some issues, I had an awesome time with this movie. You can tell Seth Rogen and company appreciate these characters and wanted to do their own spin on them. The animation, the characters, and a lot of the writing, it works for me to a point where I would definitely see this again, like when it comes out. If you're a Turtles fan or you want to get your kids into the Turtles, or if you're just looking to have a good time, go see this in theaters. You will not regret it. Thus, my rating is a strong 7.5 out of 10. As someone who's not a Turtles fan, damn good movie.
Okay, Rome, do you want to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay? All right, cool. So like Rob's, I'm also a big Ninja Turtle fan growing up watching the 80s cartoon, the '90s movie, which is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Watching the good, the bad, the ugly. The bad being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Michael Bay movie number 1. The ugly being Next Mutation, Michael Bay number 2. Um, I've seen Mutant Mayhem twice so far, and I gotta say the first hour is fantastic. It feels like a Ninja Turtles movie. It feels like everything you expect this to be for Ninja Turtles. You can see Seth Rogen and Jeff Rowe. They really love the Turtles. This is a passion project for them. I guess some of my favorite I'll say this, being a Leonardo fan, I love the fact that we saw a lot of Leonardo do a lot of different things and have a lot of dialogue and stuff. So I really like that he really took care in Leonardo, which was great. The voice casting of the Turtles were great. It was smart to have them as kids and have them in like a radio-like studio recording together. Also, the actress who voiced April O'Neil was really good. She was April O'Neil to me. She was a driven reporter who had all these aspirations, and like in typical fashion, Ninja Turtles meets her by saving her or rescuing her in some kind of fashion. I guess the negatives would be just the second part of the second hour of the movie, which fell apart really quickly. Once you met Superfly, once you met Bebop and Rocksteady, and all the other mutant characters that you didn't really need. That's where it's kind of like, okay, you have too much characters, the script's a mess now. Where are we going with this? Here's Cynthia, which we all know it's going to be Krang at some point. It just really fell apart. And some of the stuff that Rob said about, the Ninja Turtles learning from martial arts movies or YouTube videos or whatever was really a letdown. For a longtime fan of Ninja Turtles, it's going to be either you're going to like the movie or you're going to really hate the movie. I do like the movie. I do recommend people to go see the movie as well. It has a lot of issues, but if you have kids who haven't gotten into Ninja Turtles, this would be a great way for them to get into Ninja Turtles. My nephew loved the movie. He never was a Ninja Turtles fan. He's 8, and he really loved how it connected with just his generation. So it is definitely a Ninja Turtles for the next generation, so to speak. I do give it a score of 7 out of 10.
And then there was one. I have to admit right off the bat that I've never been a TMNT fan, so I'm with this guy right here. I felt I was too old for them by the time they came along. Remember, I'm the old guy of the group, so I never really connected with them. So I was aware of them. I thought they were okay. It was just never really my thing. So I was never really a fan, much less a purist. Although I did think they were okay. I even enjoyed the much maligned Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films, even if I agreed the second fell a bit short. So therefore, I never really had much excitement for this, especially since I didn't really care for the animation style as seen in the trailers. It looked like it will be a decent but ugly looking story, and after seeing it with my son, that judgment pretty much bears out. First, let's get the obvious out of the way. I still don't dig the animation style. It looks entirely too blocky and quirky for my taste, with lots of jagged lines, uneven shapes, and misaligned human faces that look like Picasso on crack. I realize it's part of the style, and this is a matter of taste, but since this is my review, not yours, it does not appeal to me at all. And since that's a major part of any animated film, it's a major negative in my book. Even if the story doesn't entirely work, in my opinion, I do like what they were going for, with the guys just wanting a normal life in the real world. But I am not a big fan of making Splinter a bad father who hates humans just to get there. Quite apart from his horrid Disney-esque design like a Ratatouille reject. I just hate that design. It's entirely too Disney-esque. He does not look like a badass sensei. The horror doesn't always land either in my book. The humor doesn't always land either in my book. Say what you want about the Bay films, but they were actually funny, or at least the first one was. But while the brothers had great chemistry and they do get a chuckle here and there, a lot of it just falls flat. Additionally, the TNRI Corporation story arc feels like it goes nowhere, like a loose thread. It kind of feels like they just shoved it in there for another milking the turtles joke. And some of the story beats from the Bay films are repeated, like Splinter randomly learning martial arts, this time with an inexplicable Japanese accent, and the turtles being caught and milked for their ooze, and Raphael wanted to leave the group, but saying at the end he's glad he's with them at the end when they were all in peril. It looks like they're going to die. The film is also rather even, feels like kind of a mess. But with that having been said, it's still not bad. Not at all. Not by a long shot. The action is solid, and the villains are great, namely Ice Cube as Superfly, who steals the show. The character development feels a lot more fleshed out here than in the Bay films, and it all comes together quite nicely by the end, even if it goes on a bit too long. I was a big fan of the ending, and that's really what put it over the top for me. At the end of the day, this is a decent film that many will love, and most will like at least a little. I did mostly like the film, despite my numerous problems with it. TMNT fans and kids will probably love it. That's for me. It's okay, but it really isn't my thing. That's okay, though, because that doesn't mean it shouldn't be yours. So my score is a 6.5 out of 10. So what about them Jets?
How about those Patriots?
I was disappointed they didn't make references to Turtle Tunes or the Coming Out of the Shell store.
Dick cheese.
Let me go in. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up some comments. Hello, and look who else is in the chat. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, speaking of which, he did.
Hello, Zach.
He did send his review.
He sent his review.
Awesome,
We need to play
Yeah,
his.
he did.
Oh yeah, we do. Do you want me to play it, or does somebody else want to play it, or
You can play
you
it.
can play it.
You can go ahead and play it.
it doesn't matter to me? Okay. All right. So this is Zach's review. He wasn't able to attend, but we do have his review right here. Let me see if I can turn up the volume.
Look, I'm just going to cut right to the chase with this movie. I had no idea what to expect. Because being a huge fan of the original 2 live-action films, and especially the 2007 CG film, which, fun fact, that 2007 one is a sequel to the original 2 films. They ignore the third one, to my knowledge. So being a fan of that storyline, adoring the 2007 film, which, if you're wondering, it is my favorite Turtles film still, I have always mourned the fact that we never got a sequel out of that storyline was never continued. So I've always held that at arm's length when it comes to other Turtles films. Of course, like everyone, I do not like the Michael Bay films. Yeah, there's moments with certain little character bits and some of the action. Of course, I could just simply enjoy the action, but they're not very good. I don't like those ones. So, and I haven't seen the Batman animated crossover film. I don't really know what the consensus is on that one. But regardless, we get the trailers for this one. I thought the first trailer looked like absolute dog shit. Not animation-wise, I don't know. I just thought that the first trailer was awful. The choice of music and the way it was edited, I don't know. It just wasn't a good first sell for me. But the rest of the marketing, it was starting to win me over. So I was slowly starting to look forward to it, and finally watched it a few days ago, and I liked it. I really, really liked it. But it is important to know that while I am not a hardcore Ninja Turtles fan, I can still understand why certain fans would be pissed at some of the changes they make here with certain villains, as far as how certain ones are used, or in some cases barely even used. But regardless, just being a casual Ninja Turtles fan, I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was a very fresh, new take on the whole storyline. I liked that for once that you were using different villains and deciding to save Shredder for a sequel, kind of build him up more. Some fans may be pissed at that, because, they're very traditional. They want Shredder right away. But me personally, I dug the fuck out of Superfly. Ice Cube did a great job with the voice acting and just his whole motivation with hating humanity, thinking they'll never be accepted. I thought it was a nice counter kind of thing to how Splinter does not think humanity will accept them, but but he doesn't want to kill humanity. You get what I mean. So I thought that the counter there with both sides was very interesting, and I thought it was one of the best parts of the movie. Speaking of Splinter, though, one of the best interpretations of the character we've had in forever. I thought Jackie Chan was hilarious in the role, while also still bringing a good amount of heart into it. But if I had to go into some mixed things real quick, I thought the personalities for Donatello and Mikey were switched. It wasn't like a total huge flaw that breaks the movie, but it's like if you switch and reverse them, then it would work better for me. But other than that, though, I thought Leo was great. I thought Raph was great, and and kind of go back into the positives. I was very pleasantly surprised by April O'Neil. Because race swapping the character and some other little certain changes looked like they were making with the character. Based on the trailers, I thought I wasn't going to like it, but surprisingly, I actually really did. I sympathized with her. I liked her arc. I liked the obstacle that she had to overcome. And so pleasantly surprised with her character in this one. Not the best interpretation, because I think that goes to either the 1990 film or 2007 film. But then we go into the action. Some of the best action we've had since, again, the 2007 film. And plus, it's just gorgeous. I love this animation style. It's treading the line of Into the Spider-Verse, but not completely ripping off and just copying that style. So I thought it was unique. But not much else to say except this is probably maybe top 3 or top 4. Either way, I'll have to think about it a little bit, but either way, it is definitely the best turtle film we have had in a long time. I like the acting, the animation, the fresh new style that were presented here, so it's a damn good time. I will give it an A- and an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. And so that's Zach's review. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised the non-turtles guy, one of the non-turtles guys, is the more positive one.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I'm actually kind of glad that we were able to have like half of the cool kids, like on this stream right now, half the cool kids being Turtles fan, and the other half being non-Turtles fan, just so we can get different perspectives. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like a hardcore Turtles fan, I could see people having like issues.
Yeah.
Coming from someone who is not, a lot of these did not bother me. I was able to sit back and enjoy the movie as its own.
That's why I said I think non-Turtles fans will probably enjoy this a lot more than hardcore Turtles fans. So because I mean, if you're someone like me, it's like you pretty much know more about these characters, and it's just like you kind of question some things, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just like the Seth Rogen. Like, if you saw his Green Hornet movie, like he does the same thing with Kato. Like Kato learns how to learns martial arts by like watching movies, and it was like the same thing with this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you've seen Green Hornet, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those who haven't seen it,
although I will say that as stupid as it is that Splinter teaches them martial arts through YouTube videos and shit like that, I mean, I will say that it's even dumber with a ninjutsu book being in the sewer written completely in Japanese.
True.
They already confirmed there's going to be a sequel.
Oh,
would you be eager to watch? Would you be eager to watch it?
Yeah, I'll still check it out.
Yeah,
we'll check it out. Like I said, I mean, this is not a bad film. It's just like, and like I said, as a standalone film, it works a lot better than as a Turtles film. But I mean, I do enjoy it. Okay, so I would be down for a sequel just to see where they go with this. I'll definitely take a sequel to a third Michael Bay TMNT film. Thank God that got canceled. Thank God that never happened.
Do you think like maybe since they already teased Shredder at the end of the movie, do you think
Yeah, I'll be right back.
do you think they'll actually start being a little more like recognizable? Like, oh yeah, like these are the turtles I remember.
Yeah,
This is basically another origin movie.
If they were to bring if when the sequel comes out and they bring in Shredder, I'm just really hoping that they bring in the whole dynamic between him and Splinter, because the origin of both of these characters, like they have a long history with each other, because they were both pretty much martial artists that were from Japan, and they were working under the same sensei.
They're already not doing that. They've already, because in this movie, he's just a rat. It's just like in the Michael Bay movie. He's a normal rat, falls into the ooze, gets some of it on him, and boom! All of a sudden, he's.
But then maybe it could be like maybe it could be like some kind of I don't know. We'll just have to see how things go. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, because that I will admit that was like a big change they made.
Yeah, that was like I said, so many missed opportunities for me.
Yeah, but also like Splinter, like sometimes his origin changes. Like sometimes he's just a rat, and then there's the Hamato Yoshi who gets turned into a rat.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about
a rat?
What about Krang? Do you think they should use Krang first instead of Splinter?
I know that, like I said, the lady that they tease, like the Maya Rudolph's character, who as I said in my review, is the female version of Krang. It seems like because I know in the cartoons and the comics now, Shredder and Krang have worked together before to take down the turtles.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, but you don't want to be too crowded, though.
Yeah,
you want to use both of them.
Yeah. Let me go
ahead.
That
was apparently one of the biggest problems with Out of the Shadows was it was too crowded.
It was. I mean, there were still more problems I still had way more problems with that movie. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that the 2007 film never got a sequel, because I would have loved to see where that would have gone.
I haven't seen that one in forever.
Yeah, that was honestly the most I would probably actually no. The most underrated one would actually be, in my opinion, it would be Turtles Forever, which is awesome. Turtles Forever and Batman vs. TMNT, because Turtles Forever is pretty much a combination of like, what if the Turtles from the 80s generation meet the ones from the 2003, because Turtles Forever, that came out in 2009 when the most recent Turtles series was the 2003 version. So it's like two generations clash, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably the most underrated.
The only bit I saw from Batman versus TMNT was Batman like single-handedly kicking all the turtles' asses. But then again, Batman has studied like every form of combat.
He's invented a few. He's mastered like 120 something ridiculous. Like he's even invented a few of his own. I mean, Jesus, he's Batman. You know.
But I would say give Batman versus TMNT a watch. It is awesome. And I'll tell you what, some of the Batman villains do make return, and they are exposed to the ooze that create the turtles, and they mutate into different animals. Like you see Mr. Freeze as a polar bear. You see the Joker as like a cobra snake or something, kind of thing.
I thought he would be like a hyena or something.
Yeah.
I think Harley Quinn is the hyena.
Yeah. No, I think it makes more sense to be a cobra. Cobra's more dangerous.
Yeah.
And we all know how much of a threat the Joker is.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
But I would say, yeah, give both of those movies a watch. It's awesome. They're awesome. But I would say that my favorite TMNT movie is still the 1991, easily.
See, I never even watched that.
I watched the first two all the time as a kid. I watched them a lot as a kid. The third one I didn't watch as a kid, but then again, I didn't even know the third one existed until I watched James Roll's review of it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we did watch. This past weekend, and let me see if I could bring something up. Hold on. Let me see if I could bring something up. Share screen.
So, how about those Jets?
Here we go. Here's our reaction.
Oh my god!
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Which would you prefer? The character designs in Mutant Mayhem, or this?
Mutant Mayhem. I never liked the design of the original Turtles, honestly, because they were exactly the same. I couldn't tell them the fuck apart. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, other than the damn colors of the thing, I mean, like, how the hell do you tell them apart? I mean, I want them to look a little bit different. I like the more modern designs where they at least have their own individual look and feel. You could tell them apart even without the mask. So,
Yeah, I thought it was.
yeah,
I thought it was
those
dumb,
costumes would look really horrible in part 3.
They look terrible.
God,
Jim Henson is rolling in his grave. That's all I gotta say.
dude, they look like sock puppets.
And
And you can only see like the top half of like Splinter's
Splinter,
body.
exactly.
It's like he's
It's like they didn't even finish. It's like they didn't even finish him, and
They
they just
probably
said,
didn't.
they just said, "Fuck it, let's just we got to get this movie rolling somehow."
They probably didn't.
But I mean, and I'm probably going to piss off so many people by saying this, I would still say that I think the Turtles look even worse in the 2014 one. So I know that's a hot take, but
I don't know. I'd say that's pretty fair. I mean, both look like shit,
they both do. Yeah.
and that's why I appreciate they looked great in this movie.
Oh yeah, they did.
I did like the look. I just didn't care for the animation style. Just not my thing.
Actually, I thought they looked hilarious when they were little, especially fucking Raph.
I know, right?
Yeah.
He looked like a little soccer ball. And
Leonardo still with the glasses.
You what?
The little Leonardo still with the glasses. Not Leonardo.
Yeah, Donatello is the one with glasses.
Donatello. See, I told you, I don't fucking know.
Because Donatello is the brains of the.
I know, yeah. Donatello is the brains, yeah.
he wears glasses because he's the smart one.
Yeah. Because Leonardo is the leader, Donatello is the brains,
Mm-hmm.
Raphael is the muscle, and Michelangelo is the goofball.
Yeah.
And I don't see what Zach meant when and Cody Lee said this too, that Donnie's and Mikey's personalities were switched. I mean Donnie was more like nervous and like high strong.
Yeah.
But Mikey was still the goofball. He was still cracking jokes.
He was.
Yeah.
I think he was.
I loved how they were all cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Like they all had that same like brotherly humor. I also liked what they did with Leonardo in this movie, because Leonardo is usually like one of the bland one. Like he's the leader.
He's the older brother that's keeping all of his siblings in line.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of took away from Michelangelo to me, because they're all cracking jokes, so he just doesn't stand out. You know,
Nah, that's fair.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like Michelangelo and Raphael, because everybody loves Raphael. He's like the popular one. He was also kind of sidelined too for this movie.
And when
There's
they're
more
all
focus on,
goofballs, no one will be.
With theories on how
No.
Yeah, I think we already discussed just maybe some things they could do for sequel for Shredder.
Oh God, I pissed off Zach.
Apparently,
What?
they already said it because I mean, honestly, she said we need to bring in some
The
new
Shredder.
muscle or whatever. Then you saw Shredder, so apparently they're going to try to bring in Shredder. I mean, you would hope they wouldn't just use Shredder as a henchman. So,
Yeah.
I see him being like some kind of like assassin, like Deathstroke or Terminator. Deathstroke really, like that kind of figure.
but he really needs to be kind of his own thing, doesn't he? Because I mean, does he
He
really
does,
just want to be a puppet for TNRI, for the corporation, that lady, whatever her name is?
It's actually TCRI, the
Whatever
Techno-Cosmic
they are.
Research Institution.
Whatever. All right, but TCRI, whatever. For that lady, do you really just want her to be a henchman for him, just a hired hand? Or do you want him to be kind of his own thing?
Hey,
Is he
Rome,
going to even have the
his own
Foot Clan with him? Is it going to be just him, or is he actually going to have the Foot Clan with him?
They better have the Foot Clan.
they better have the Foot Clan.
Yeah.
Rome, what kind? Since you're the only other Turtles fan besides me here, what kind of other characters or villains or something you would like to see maybe like in a future sequel to this?
I'd like to see the Rat King.
The Rat King, yes.
He was another big villain in the cartoons. I'd like to see.
He is, yes.
Yeah.
He is a big. And I honestly, I would like to see. Of course, we already mentioned like Krang, the Technodrome. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, Krang, I think we mentioned it before. Right?
It was Maya Rudolph's character. Yeah. Except she's not a brain from Dimension X that's in a robot's stomach, kind of thing.
I'm trying to think who else.
God damn it, Zach.
What?
No, he's pissed because I said Leonardo was bland.
Well, he's meant to be bland. I'm a fan of Leonardo as well, but he's meant to be bland.
I mean, look, he could just get over it. It's like the people who get pissed off when you say that Cyclops is bland. Cyclops is bland as fucking hell. Fuck off. Get the fuck over it.
And look, Leonardo's my favorite, but I can
like
tell you he's
bland
bland.
people, okay?
But what would you guys say? Who's your favorite turtle? You would say?
I don't know. I mean, I always liked Michelangelo because he was funny.
I would say. I mean, despite me wearing a Leonardo mask, mine is Michelangelo. The reason I'm wearing a Leonardo one is because they were out of Michelangelo.
Honestly, Jack's was always Donatello for years. I thought it was maybe because he was the smart one.
Yeah,
and he was into technology and stuff. I asked him for the movie when we saw the movie. I said, Jack, why did you like Donatello? He's like, because he was smart and everything? No, I just like purple.
Well, what about Rome, Devin? What about you guys?
I'd say probably Raph. Because I like how Raph is the badass.
Yeah. Like the muscle and the lone wolf. What about you, Rome?
I mean, like I said, I grew up being a fan of Leonardo, so Leonardo's always been my favorite character. I'll say Leonardo. I'll say like between Raphael and Michelangelo's being my second favorite.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I did love the scene with the gecko and Michelangelo with the whole bro and dude thing. That was
the
pretty
bro
funny.
dude thing. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
Rob, what do you think? Do you think they're going to do anything with Casey Jones for the sequel?
I'm willing to bet that they are gonna do something with Casey Jones, because I know Casey Jones is like a important character. He's another important character. He's an anti-hero.
I think it makes sense making making April O'Neil a teenager like them,
Oh, yeah.
rather than being a grown ass woman with her own career who has 4 teenage friends who lives in the sewers, which sounds really fucking creepy if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Did you guys talk about the Splinter and like the bug making out? Like I thought that was kind of like I know it was meant to be gross, but it was just like Seth Rogen just being Seth Rogen.
it felt kind of out of place for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm with wrong with this. Seth Rogen being Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Like it did have a Seth Rogen comedy that I was afraid it was going to.
Hey, want to get high, man?
I agree.
That was
Casey
a little,
Jones. Yeah,
that was a little much.
Yeah.
too much. Yeah, but it's,
Yeah.
you kind of have to expect it with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
He does everything like that in all his movies. He'll do something gross. It's supposed to be funny, and it's not really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
By the way, Rome, did I know I mentioned this in my review. Did you actually catch the Attack on Titan reference that Donnie made? So.
with the no, see, I haven't watched Attack on Titan, so I'm kind of left out.
Oh, you haven't watched it? Oh, okay. So
No.
I guess I'm the only weirdo though. But then again, you know how much I love anime.
Same. It was nice to see Donnie. Like my theater reacted when he said he was a big fan of Attack on Titans. It was like he connected with the younger audience or just anime fans as well. It made him. Made him more connecting than just being another geek with computers. It was like, hey, he has something else. So I like that. I like what they do with Donatello. Like the turtles themselves were fine. It was just like everything around them, like the overstuffed villains, just like the last hour to me was just such a mess. It was
like I said, there was so many missed opportunities. Like, I mean, as a Turtles fan, it's just I've noticed just so many missed opportunities. Like, I just feel like they could have made Baxter Stockman like the Superfly because he was the Fly in the original cartoon, you know. So, and it's just like things like that, and especially seeing how you got Giancarlo Esposito voicing him. I mean, nothing against Ice Cube; he does a good job too. But it's like I just feel like you could have made him the Superfly, you know.
I mean, it's still possible. I mean, we don't know if he's really. I mean, they said he's dead, but how do we know if TCRI, brought him back to their lab and experimented on him?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they have a chance to fix things in the sequel. They really, to really fix some things that really didn't work in this one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. The Three Turtles is my second. Yeah.
So
just please to God, don't make
Casey Jones would be a teenager too?
You what?
Do you think Casey Jones would be a teenager too?
I mean,
I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, they have made him a teenager before. I know they did that for the one I actually watched earlier today, Rise of the TMNT movie on Netflix. So they did make him a teenager there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him. Like, I do think in the sequel they're gonna make Raphael do more, and I can see. Hopefully, they keep that same relationship they had, like the comic books and the live action movie, where like Raphael and Casey Jones have this good relationship. Because in the comic books, which is really good, I recommend people to read the IDW version. Casey Jones has like an abusive background with his father, so they really explore more of why he does what he does, and his connection with Raphael is such an important part of that story.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just don't make Casey Jones like a whiny little bitch like he did in Out of the Shadows.
Oh God.
Or don't have the Foot Clan be called the Foot Clan because they step over people. And what weren't they just like generic soldiers?
They were generic soldiers with guns.
Hey,
the Foot Clans are ninjas from Japan.
I'm just glad Bebop and Rocksteady didn't look at the junks and go like, "My man."
Oh God. They were. I thought they were annoying and out of the shadows. I couldn't.
Well, I mean, they really shouldn't have picked. They really picked the wrong guy. They picked Steven freaking Amell. I mean,
Yeah.
I forgot he can't
Casey
act.
Jones.
Sorry,
Yeah,
not
Yeah, it could be worse. They could have gotten. They could have gotten Mark Wahlberg back. Like, Casey Jones, I wanted to. I'm gonna fight alongside you turtles.
What's going on?
What's going on?
What?
No.
Guys, I think we found a transformer. Why I sound British?
Let me
Not doing off
calm
accent.
me down with a math problem. I know that's not him, but still, same damn movie.
Look, I'm
That
sorry.
looks
I
good.
love the part about Mark Wahlberg. He outside of Boogie Nights, he can't act.
I mean,
Mark
he's been in a
Wahlberg's
few
a small turd.
Boogie Nights was great. I mean, he was great in The Departed.
Boogie Nights.
Of course, I mean, he was playing basically himself. Shit, he was playing a Southie. Right, Romes?
Yep.
Exactly. He's playing a Southie.
What, we're doing another movie based in Boston? Sign me up. I can act that.
Exactly. There you go. All he has to do now is play a Southie in every movie. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in a few
What he does.
movies. I mean, in the right role, I think he's fine. But, I mean, and he will always have been great in Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights was amazing. It was great.
Boogie Nights is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, he really just had to play the naive kid there. So, I mean, plus he had Burt Reynolds and Julianne Moore around him. So, I mean, shit.
Rob, did I give you non-flashbacks to the Michael Bay movies?
What?
Did I give you non-flashbacks to the Michael Bay movies?
Yeah.
I feel like I did too.
Oh,
by
God.
by talking about it.
You know what? Because I knew you were desperately wanting this.
Here's the thing.
Delayed
Rob,
reaction.
I've never finished the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2. I only watched the first 15, 20 minutes of it. And once Casey Jones says he wanted to be a cop one day, I lost my mind.
That was honestly frustrating. I was like, that is not Casey Jones. That is not Casey Jones. Oh, and Rome, don't forget about how Bebop and
Of course, it
Rocksteady
was,
came
but it
to be-
was Stephen Amell.
And don't forget, Rome, Bebop and Rocksteady pretty much became who they are because they were reverted back to their ancestry animal, saying we were all born from rhinoceros and warthogs. Hold on, let me get it. Oh, here it is.
That's stupid. Really stupid.
Honestly, I mean, you look at any of it, it's kind of dumb. I mean, I could overlook it. Like, yeah, it's dumb, but yeah, they were funny. I couldn't care less.
I mean, the trailer tried to sell you. They were trying to make an '80s nostalgic Ninja Turtles film, and then when you saw part 2, you were just like, "What the fuck?"
Speaking of which, I mean, I'm not sure I like the idea of him and a bunch of the others, are, from what I understand, at least, are usually bad guys. Now they're all good guys at the end. So
that was stupid too.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're trying to do with the character art, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's kind of a waste. You're taking all these potential enemies and just throwing them away, just for. I mean, shit.
Here is a question.
It already is big successful. Zach is doing great at the box office.
It is. It's doing very well. So you should.
Let me talk. Are rhinos and
warthogs
and warthogs, are they on the Chinese zodiac?
I don't know. I really
Pretty
don't
sure
know.
a warthog is. I'm not sure if a rhinoceros is. I don't think a rhinoceros is, but I'm pretty sure a warthog is. Pig is. Pig, yeah, wild pig. I mean, shit.
Dragon is, and I can know because I'm a dragon.
Tiger is because I'm a tiger.
Pig, the closest, pig for warthog.
Well, yeah, pig, wild.
That's
pig.
like the closest thing, but no rhinoceros.
Yeah, no rhinoceros.
So does this mean if I were in their position, I turn into my spiritual animal, then I turn into a rabbit, Like a giant rabbit.
Yes, you will be Peter
Yep.
fucking Cottontail.
Oh yeah, all right. I'd be Frank from
Hopping down
Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
hopping down the buddy trail. Zach,
Actually-
you are so
Actually,
far
Zach,
from
you're a
Wolverine.
rabbit too, Zach.
Zach, you are so far from Wolverine.
No, you're
not
not.
even sorry. You are so far from Wolverine.
Zach, I think you're a rabbit too.
Hey!
So what about you, Rome?
I'm not even sure. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay. What year? And
Oh,
I'll
87.
87. You would be a rabbit too.
Nice.
Hey!
I am a tiger.
I'm a dragon. I'll annihilate all you motherfuckers.
Tim tells me
I feel-
I love tigers. Tigers are the best.
I'm a fucking tiger, baby. Hell
I'm a
yeah.
dragon, man.
What about lions and bears? Oh my!
Bye.
I'm a wood tiger.
Seriously, by that logic, if that actually happened in Out of the Shadows, then all right, I guess I'll turn into a rabbit.
He would be a badass rabbit.
Who are you? I'm Hippity Hop. All I know about Bebop and Rocksteady is apparently they're like really stupid.
They're like the dumb buff henchmen in the
They're like the
cartoon.
Beavis and Butthead team.
Yeah, exactly. The Beavis and Butthead.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Alright.
strong.
In the cartoon, Shredder's always screaming at them, yelling at them because
Exactly,
how stupid
yes.
they are, and they always get clumsy and just can't get anything right.
Oh yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, I know another thing that that would be awesome to see, like maybe in a future sequel, that has not been in any TMNT film. The Mousers, the Mouser Army that Baxter Stockman created. I think that would be kind of cool, I think.
And wasn't Baxter Stockman like inspired by The Fly?
Yeah, exactly. His transformation was actually inspired by the original Fly because
Yeah.
he does get mutated. He gets transported into a machine. A fly comes in, and then it changes its mutation, and it becomes like half human, half fly villain. That's why I said it was a missed opportunity to make Baxter Stockman the Super Fly because it would,
And we all know Giancarlo Esposito can play a great villain.
Oh, he can
See,
absolutely.
That's why I feel like he's gonna be in the back of the sequel as Stockman, because it's like, why bring him to voice a character you kill off in 5 minutes?
Exactly.
If he doesn't come back, that's probably one of the more like wasted like shoehorn castings I've seen. Like one of the other ones I can think of was J.K. Simmons in Ghostbusters Afterlife, where he just randomly shows up, he says a couple lines, and then bam, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, you have Terrence Fletcher in your movie. Show some damn respect.
I know, right?
Do I have anything else to say about this movie?
I got one more thing to say.
Oh yeah.
For those who haven't want to know more about the Turtles or something, there's a nice Netflix special. I think for toys, we made the toys. One's about Ninja Turtles, and it kind of goes into more depth of like Kevin Eastman and Peter Lard and how they came up with the idea of Ninja Turtles and how this one idea kind of just really blew up in this big Turtle mania in the late 80s, early 90s, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kevin Eastman, he did have a Easter egg in the movie. He was the character that helped Splinter up when Splinter was terrified of other people.
Oh.
That was his Stan Lee kind of Easter egg or moment. Cameo moment.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I've been meaning to check that. I've been meaning to check that series out, like movies that made us, toys that made us.
Oh,
yeah,
it's great, especially if you love movies.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Because I've seen it too. It is awesome. Because I will say this. It seems like every popular cartoon from like the 80s and 90s. Let's just call the kettle black. They were pretty much, a lot of them were just made to sell toys.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest with it. Transformers, He-Man, Power Rangers, Pokemon.
He-Man was literally created to sell toy. It was literally a cartoon created to sell. I mean, they literally created it as a toy and a cartoon at the same time.
That's the same for Turtles.
Yeah.
They did that.
Mark,
for
didn't
Exactly.
Mark, didn't they created like the He-Man characters as toys first and then made a cartoon out of it to try to sell them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I thought so,
Yeah. I think it was I forget it was Marvel or DC at first. I mean, I think DC I know Marvel did the G.I. Joe comics. They did Star Wars. I'm not sure if they did the
I think DC did He-Man for a little
DC
bit.
did the He-Man for a little while. I know. I know
I know
a few years
Marvel
ago
did
they
Transformers.
Yeah. Marvel did Transformers. So, but I mean, yeah, they had because I mean, I remember when those things hit, man. I mean, they were a huge fucking hit when they hit. I think it was Christmas of 1983, maybe even 1982 when they hit. And man, every kid wanted those things. I mean, Jesus. And my mother got me fucking Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. I still got them both, bitch.
Nice.
you still have them?
I still have them. Yes.
Wow.
They don't work. Snake Mountain doesn't work anymore because Snake Mountain had the snake. You could take it off and make the voice and make the big booming voice, and all that. So,
I mean, maybe if we're ever on a hangout or something, you could show this because I'm curious. I'm curious to see that.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure they're in great shape, but I mean, like all my He-Man characters, and I had a bunch of them too. I had probably almost every one. They, all the legs broke off.
Yeah. I had a shit ton of Power Rangers, Power Rangers figures.
I had a whole bunch of the Spider-Man figures from the toy line when Spider-Man 3 was coming out. Like I think I had almost all of them.
Awesome.
Nice.
I mean, I saw them all though.
Nice.
Same, I grew up like all the Power Rangers figures, Batman figures, Turtle figures, G.I. Joes. I was big into G.I. Joes.
I had a lot of that. I had a lot. I think I know I had a lot of Pokemon figures too. So, although I think a lot of them I pretty much sold. So, unfortunately,
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. He's nice. Okay, so do we have anything more to say for Mutant Mayhem?
Check it out.
It's a lot of fun. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Yeah, if you had kids, go check it out. If you're just a casual fan, then you more than likely will really enjoy this. If you're a Turtles fan, I would say use caution.
Yeah.
All right, and are we ready to announce the next movie?
I'm ready.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Stay tuned on Sunday for our review of Last Voyage of the Demeter, hosted by Mark.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I discovered that one, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be on, but I will have I'll have my review written by then.
They took the scariest part of Dracula and really made a whole movie out of it, and I cannot wait. Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it. That does it for Mutant Mayhem. So, yeah, stay tuned for our next review for Last Voyage of the Demeter. All right, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cowabunga, dude.
Cowabunga.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.